Well, let me tell you guys, it took us almost 4 years to learn about the amazing doctors that are here before you today. And during that time, I was working as a newborn care specialist. Okay, so every day I went to work and I helped people with their new babies. And I would teach them how to breastfeed, and I would walk them through what postpartum was like and how to put a diaper on their baby and how to swaddle. And then I would go home to an empty home. And we had a nursery, and our nursery was empty. And so I want you to know that it's because I didn't give up hope that I'm sitting in front of you with a 6.5-month baby in my belly right now. Don't give up hope. Regardless of what you end up doing, never let your discouragement of your moment right now keep you from having that baby that you'll get in your future. So, like most of you, I'm sure, I did everything I could possibly do to get pregnant. If someone said to me, chew gum, sing the alphabet backwards, and spin in a circle, I'd be like, okay, where's my gum? You know, I was ready to do everything I possibly could. And I did everything I possibly could. And each month, my period came. And each month, I was more upset. And someone had suggested you should really look into natural IVF. And all that I had to hear were those 3 letters, and I knew that it wasn't for me. IVF, that means needles. No thank you, how do I get out of here? I was a very needle-phobic kind of girl. But I knew one thing. I knew I wanted a baby more than I was afraid of anything. I knew I wanted to be a mommy more than I was scared of needles. I knew that if I had to work 10 jobs to make this happen, it was going to be worth it to hold that baby in my arms and to finally get to see my amazing husband become a daddy. And so I did finally look into natural IVF. I had had surgeries before this to try and fix things. I had done thousands of dollars of supplements, had gone to anything that supposedly could work. And then I came here and I sat in the chair like you guys are. And I listened to Dr. Yulian explain how natural IVF worked and mini IVF. And because of my background, you guys, as a newborn care specialist, I came into this a little more knowledgeable than the average person did. So I knew some of the pros and cons of conventional IVF, and I knew more of the cons. And so when I learned that Dr. Yulian had these abilities to help you conceive without doing all of the chemicals and the toxins and the negative side effects, I did have to put that fear of IVF aside because this was different. But not only was this different, they are different. The staff that you're looking at in front of you, they actually really want you to have a baby, but they care about you along the way. I never once felt like I was a patient with a number. I never once felt like I had a dollar sign when I came in here. I got hugs by everyone every time I came in here, and I looked so forward to the next doctor's appointment that I get to come in here because I knew I was getting one step closer to a baby. So I did the 'Tis the Season of Giving Hope. I learned I was their very first winner ever, which was quite an honor. And that is when my process began. And so I live quite far. It's almost a 5-hour round trip with traffic. And guess what? I would have driven 10. I would have driven 20. Because these doctors are not only excellent in what they do, but they do it in a way that you will not find anywhere else. And so I started getting monitored. I came in for all of those visits. I did do the blood work. I probably did say some not nice things to the nurses in the process. And everyone was very sweet and very patient with me along the way. And we ended up doing 3 egg retrievals. I chose to do natural IVF. One thing I really loved is that I was always given information. So they would explain to me how it worked if I did this versus that. And they'd ask me how I felt, and then they would give me their professional opinion. I never felt like I didn't have a say over what was going to happen to my body. And I did feel like that at other centers. Kind of felt like we were like being treated as one size fits all. And ladies in the room, we all know one size does not fit all. Before the transfer, I had to make a pretty hefty decision, and that was whether or not to keep my fallopian tubes. So the reason that I was having trouble with conceiving was because I had blocked fallopian tubes that were filled with fluid called hydrosalpinx. And I don't know if it was an ego thing of not wanting to get rid of body parts or what was behind it, but I really didn't want to have this procedure. And after meeting with Dr. Duran and learning exactly what pros and cons I needed to face, we did choose to have the surgery. Because it's scary to think about having an egg retrieval if you've never had one. It's scarier when they tell you you're going to be awake for the whole thing. And they tell you, oh, it's not that bad. The needle's just like this. And I'm going, if you would have said like this, that would have been too much. And it wasn't that bad. And you guys are welcome to watch any of that. I'm happy to give you that information. But everything was done in such a gentle way and such an educated way. and really quite painless, surprisingly. I thought you were lying, but you were telling the truth. And so I did 3 retrievals. Dr. Duran worked some magic on me and he removed my fallopian tubes. After I healed from my fallopian tube removal surgery, we did 1 transfer. That was 6.5 months ago. And this is the results of that transfer. And I learned in the process that we're not in control. Because let's face it, if we were, we wouldn't even be here right now. And the best thing that I think you can do when you're not in control is to have someone look over the situation that completely understands emotionally, physically, and medically how to help you through this process. And you're looking at the people who are equipped to do that. So if I could tell you anything, I would tell you you're here for a reason. This is not a coincidence that you've come across this place. And it is not sort of just one of those, let's see what happens. You are at the right place at the right time with the right staff. And I cannot encourage you any more than to say, go through this center, let these doctors help you. There were times when I think he wanted me to have a baby even more than I did. And he would reassure me on many occasions, you are going to get pregnant and you are going to have a baby. And again, you are at the right place with the right time, with absolutely the right doctors. So good luck to all of you.
And then as she said, she did finish the 3 cycles. And the first cycle when she started, and as she said, next cycle, no medication. We got 1 egg, made 1 embryo. The embryo was a 4CD. From the grade wise, you have a 4AA, 4AB, 4BA, 4BB, 4CD, probably is a relative of a lower grade. So I don't know whether the embryo can result pregnancy. So I said, ask Michelle, I said, how about let's do it again to see if we can have another embryo. So we did a second egg retrieval next cycle. Next cycle, we did get 1 egg, made 1 embryo, but the embryo did not make it, process. So we did 3rd cycle. The third cycle, we did the same next cycle, no medication, but we made a 4AA process. So 3 cycles make it 2 process. So when she came back after surgery, we did embryo transfer. We didn't give Michelle option, either transfer the 4CB or 4AA. So we transfer 4CB, that's the 4CB. So she still have 4AA in the freezer.
Yeah, the embryologist is watching my baby in the frozen popsicle center right now. And I learned that he is the #1 doctor in California for natural IVF. There was nothing else to know after that. Why would you ever say, oh, I'd just rather go to #4? You know, like #1, I don't care how far he is, that's who I'm gonna go to. When you sit down and you get to talk with this man, he is absolutely as amazing on the inside as he presents himself. He is the most compassionate doctor, and he has been awarded that year after year after year, and it is his compassion that makes him successful, and he believes it's a human right for you to have a child. And I don't know many doctors who chose to do this because they wanted to make sure that you got your blessing in life, and he made it very clear that that was the #1 priority for him.
It's a very exciting moment. We should join lottery. So since Michelle has a lucky hand, so we'll pick a number to join this number.
Good luck, everyone.
All right, the ticket number is 2399888.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.